show. Well, let's see if we're live now. Hold on.
I don't see a new link. Yeah, I can refresh though. Let me refresh.
Rokfin is going to be done for.
Yeah, I got a new notification.
On YouTube?
Yeah. Yep, you're live again. Hello? We're
Hello.
back.
What the
We're
hell,
back.
man? Are we? My
It's a new
DLive is just
link.
spinning.
It's a new link.
Let me see
I
what's going
think
over on the Foxhole. This is some
12
shenanigans.
people. We're back, guys. If you,
Oh, we're up on
I,
on
I don't even know if
Foxhole,
there's a way to let people know that there's a new link.
right?
I guess they'll just have to figure it out. Anybody in the chat, if you have any way of doing that, if the other chat is still active or anything, can you let people know that we're over here? They're coming. We're at 20 back.
Yeah, man. What is happening today? What was with the green screen? Like that's creepy, right?
I, don't- I mean, you're the one who bought a toaster
I
online.
didn't buy. I have. It's nice. It's not that.
I'm
Like
joking.
they're
I'm
at
joking.
me, like or something. We said
Um,
GATES one too many times. Like that's what
what's,
they got me for last time.
oh, really?
They pulled my whole
Oh,
video off YouTube and they gave me a strike for it, like a hard strike. Thanks for the can, Golden Crisp. I
um,
appreciate you.
timeline jumping. All right.
Like what the hell?
Well, we're back. Let's just continue. Let people come in. I'll reread my question.
Yeah, there you go.
For those of you who missed it, and those of you who are back, um,
Shenanigans.
what was the name of the military cloud seeding project that was carried out by the U.S. Air Force during the Vietnam War between 1967 and 1972? A. Operation Popeye. B. Project Bluebird. C. Operation Fishbowl. D. Project Rainbow.
Uh, I don't know what I said last time. I'm gonna go with fishbowl this time though.
All right. Let's get some other answers. We got
Right?
A. Somebody says A. Kaz Potter says A. We have Melody that says A. Droid Ian says A. We have a B.
And while we're
Papa
waiting on answers, hold on,
Rainbow.
guys. This is a perfect time for me to do my little spiel about supporting free speech platforms. Like there are so many like they're gonna yoke my channel at some point. If you are watching on YouTube, it's going to happen. I'm on Rokfin. It is an awesome platform. You can make a free account over there, and there are a shit ton of good content creators over there. You can follow me over there. Alar's over there. Methods is over there. Jason Burmis is over there. Uh, a ton of people. Go over there, make the account, follow me over there. Or you can go to pill.net, make a free account there, and get you the Foxhole app. This is the Foxhole. It's super awesome. Look at all of the cool people on here. There are a ton of channels. All if you're wondering where your favorite streamers went, they all went over here. Everybody that got yoked, right? So come over here, support free speech platforms, because it's just a matter of time.
The answer
There you go.
is A. Operation Popeye.
Oh, I was right the first time. Damn it.
You were. You changed your right answer.
I know.
Yeah.
I
So they were,
know.
but they were cloud seeding. Obviously, you guys know what that is. Weather manipulation. It's
Yes.
seeding a cloud to make it rain. Project Bluebird is an offshoot of MK Ultra, basically, but they specialize in hypnosis. Operation Fishbowl is a um, high altitude nuclear testing that was done in the like
Oh,
60s
that's
or
right.
something. Yeah, and then Project
That's
Rainbow
right.
is was radar cloaking. They were trying to find a way to basically hide their ships from the radar.
Uh, Thank you, D-Back, for the cookie. Thank you, Ohio Kimmy, for the shades. Yeah, you're finally able to catch the show. You're lucky there's a show to catch. They're trying to boot me off the internet a minute ago. Shady bastards. Thank you for being here. Um, yeah, man, I don't know. Ton of government cover-ups. And that is one of the first confirmed cases of weather manipulation that we have was them cloud seeding during the
In the
Vietnam War.
60s.
Yeah,
In the 60s, right. You
right.
think they just stopped?
Yeah, spraying chemicals out of planes, right? That what does that sound like? I mean, come on, man. But we're
But think about how you could actually utilize that in a beneficial way
yeah,
without the harmful chemicals over California or wherever you have these wildfires. We have legitimate actual proof that they did this in Vietnam. And you mean to tell me they can't create rain clouds over
they do it
wildfires?
in Dubai now. They do
All
it in
right.
Dubai now to
Exactly.
bring rain.
Exactly.
China has done this on a massive scale. I mean, they admit to their geoengineering and weather modification. Like, I mean, they've admitted to it in 100 of sauced mainstream articles. They want to turn entire desert regions into farmland, and they're
Right.
at it. I mean, they've been at it. Hey, Matt. What up, Matt 1776? Good to see you. Thank you for the phone. Uh yes, I am
All right.
I'm trying to get everybody on the Foxhole, sir. That's where they need to be. Like, I don't know what they're doing with their lives if they haven't come over to the Foxhole, right?
All right. What do we got?
What do we
What do
got?
you
All
got
right.
for us?
Let me see. Let me see. All right. The aim of the CIA secret project Azorian was to do what? Was it A, to raise a sunken Soviet submarine? B, to gather UFO debris from wreckage sites? C, to surveil the American elites? Or D, to secretly arm China with biological weapons?
D sounds very juicy, but I'm gonna go with A.
Final answer?
Sure.
Let's
It's a final
let's
guess.
see
I
what the
don't know.
peeps say. I have Foxhole up on my screen, so tell me what they're saying on YouTube.
Um, don't have anything yet.
Right? This is the CIA's secret project Azorian. Was it A, to raise a sunken Soviet submarine? B, to gather UFO debris from wreckage sites? C, to surveil the American elites? Or D, to secretly arm China with biological weapons?
We have A, D, A on YouTube.
Right? I see D on Foxhole. Hmm. Is it just everybody's birthday today? Is that what's going on over here? Golden Crisp says F, right? Obviously, it's F. Yeah, it is A, Tylena. Look at you.
Very
All right,
nice.
raise a sunken Soviet submarine. So these guys literally went down and pulled up a sub that sunk that had 3 nuclear-armed ballistic missiles on it. They each had one megaton warhead, and Nixon approved it. Right? They put everything in a secret file that they named Jennifer, of all things, and only, of course, they only let certain government officials know. After a FOIA request, the NSA finally published an article from the CIA's own in house journal called Studies in Intelligence that admitted that they had succeeded in resurfacing portions of the sub, and then they hauled it off to Hawaii for unloading.
That's a beautiful story.
I just thought I would share that with you. We need to know what
Yeah,
our government is capable of doing, right?
they are capable of doing more
Everything.
than we can imagine, actually. More than a typical person is willing to imagine the government is capable of.
You already know I definitely believe that.
I don't, I would even, I would almost say it's an inner knowing at this point, like more than a belief.
Can't trust
Um,
them bastards, right?
all right, ready? Next
Bring it.
question. According to the late Mark McCandlish,
Ooh.
which he was probably murdered, by the way. According to the late Mark McCandlish, within the last decade, a faction of our secret space program traveled to the edge of the Andromeda galaxy in 20 minutes in a warp capable spacecraft. When they arrived, they found 8 Earth like planets, all containing humans, 2 of which were speaking what familiar language? I'll read that one more time. According to the late Mark McCandlish, within the last decade, a faction of our secret space program traveled to the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy in 20 minutes on a warp capable spacecraft. When they arrived, they found 8 Earth like planets, all containing humans, 2 of which were speaking what familiar language? A. German, B. French, C. English, D. Mandarin Chinese.
German. Final answer.
We got another German. Cats Potter says German. They were able to pick up which planets were putting out a standard radio frequency like we would recognize, and those were the 2 planets that they investigated, right? And they found human civilizations mirroring Earth in all areas, down to the clothing, fire trucks, streets. It's either 2 possibilities: it's completely bogus, or this program has been going on for a very, very long time.
And it
The
was
answer, by the way, is English.
what?
Yes, people
Oh,
were
I would have
speaking
sworn it
English.
had to be the Germans, man.
Right? I know, right?
Way to trick me, right?
Um, yeah, but it's I mean, it's just a claim, right? But I don't know. We when you really start breaking down the trillions of dollars that have been dumped into these programs for decades now, and as early as we know that they started developing this stuff in the late 30s and 40s and 50s, it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to believe that they've had many breakaway civilizations on many planets, and they can do things that we can't imagine.
Well, he died suspiciously recently, didn't he?
Yeah, he was supposed to. He was supposed to be one of the people that were gonna speak at this press conference. That was going to be like this disclosure, right? And he was one of the guys that was on the board. And right before that happened, he was taken out. So
Imagine that.
there's a like when we had Dan Willis on, he talked about this, and he's convinced that this was like a murder, Um, so we'll see. I mean, I guess we won't see. We don't actually know.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. These people die super
Right.
suspiciously, right before something important is about to happen.
Right.
But you know,
Apparently, according to our Dan Cooper, some of these people who are in the know like that die suspiciously, don't actually die. They take them out of the public eye, but they recruit them into a program, and they're used in a program somewhere, and they just die in the public eye
man,
because they're too valuable. Some people are too valuable to just waste. You know,
hmm, we're
interesting,
all replaceable,
right? Well, that's true.
right? We're all replaceable. All right, I got another OG conspiracy theory question for you. This is kind of actually interesting. Um, so in August of 1964, less than a year after Kennedy's assassination, Time magazine published a list that they called a compendium of curious coincidences, right? Uh, what 2 presidents did it compare? Was it A, Kennedy and Jackson, B, Kennedy and Johnson, C, Kennedy and Lincoln, or D, Kennedy and Washington?
What year did this? What was this published?
In August of 1964, less than a year after Kennedy's assassination, Time magazine published a compendium of curious coincidences, right? They actually had said that the list appeared like a week prior in a GOP congressional newsletter.
My answer is Lincoln and Kennedy.
Lincoln and Kennedy. Final answer. Let's see
Final
what
answer.
what the peeps say. Yeah, so A, Kennedy and Jackson, B, Kennedy and Johnson, C, Kennedy and Lincoln, or D, Kennedy and Washington. What frightening me says Kennedy and Lincoln. Frightening
I
me
don't.
gets a frightening amount of questions correct, right?
It's frightening,
Yeah, it's frightening. Well, everybody's saying it is Kennedy and Lincoln. But listen to
right?
this, right?
I've actually gone on this rabbit hole, and it's crazy.
A lot of this was actually new to me. Like you would think I had read all the. This was new to me. So, known as the Lincoln and Kennedy coincidences, uh, and there have been like physical and digital versions of this circulating forever, right?
Hmm.
Even Harvard's Demon magazine, of all things, said, despite DNA testing and a 100-year separation, overwhelming popular belief, they were speculating that Lincoln and Kennedy were the same man. Here's what's crazy. Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1864. Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Oh, sorry, 1846 and 1946.
Right, right, yeah.
Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Kennedy was elected president in 1960. Both were concerned with civil rights. Both were shot on a Friday. Both wives lost a child while they were living in the White House. Both of them got shot in the head. Both were succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. And then Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808, and Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. Booth and Oswald were both killed before their trials, and then Lincoln was shot in a theater, and the assassin ran to a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, and the assassin ran to a theater.
And they both had a mole on their left butt cheek.
Did they?
No, I made that up.
They should have.
But no, I remember reading about that, and I read the comparison list, and I was just like, holy shit. And then you start looking it up, and you can, I mean, it's easily verifiable stuff.
Yeah, well,
if
this
you
was
want to
from a
verify it.
debunk, and the things that I read are the things that they admitted were true.
Right.
I mean, when even your debunks are rebunking things, like that is weird. Those are curious
Yes.
coincidences, right?
That's a good name for your show, rebunking.
Rebunking the debunks,
Yeah, rebunk the debunk,
right? Crazy, man.
rebunk podcast,
Crazy.
rebunkers.
Right? There are no coincidences, Cutie Pie says.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Bring it.
In what year was the original coronavirus patent applied for? A, 2012, B, 1999, C, 2003, D, 2019.
Oh, I thought it was 2015. I'll go with 2012.
In what year was the original coronavirus patent applied for? 2012, 99, 03, or 2019?
Or maybe '03, because that was right after SARS.
You're getting
Hmm.
hot.
Yeah, we'll go with '03 because that was right after SARS. You know what else is crazy while we're waiting for their answers to come in? I had published, well, I had tweeted out, I had tweeted out a thread tracing Dr. Shi Zhengli's work from the original SARS pandemic, epidemic, through to today. And you could literally trace her work with the different viruses, and she speaks about the mutations that they made, gain of function mutations that they made, right, in her different papers. And I had speculated in February of 2020 that they had created the mutations for mares, and that's where today The Intercept published an article talking about how EcoHealth Alliance was involved in the gain of function research that led to the mares problem in 2013. Like, it's
Right.
all been out there for us the entire time.
The entire time.
The entire time.
Right. So people are saying 2003, 99. Those are the two main ones. A lot of 2012s. But the answer is actually 99. And if you listen to the question, they
Ah,
said, what year was the original patent applied for? So it was applied for in 99, but 2003 is when it became patented. Um,
ah.
so
So right before.
technically, you guys aren't wrong, but it was applied for in 99. According to this is from the pandemic series. I learned that also. And I was shocked to see that it went back that far.
Yeah. She Zheng Li, the Bat woman in China, started her work in 2000,
Right. Yeah, this is it.
right? Thank you, Cutie Pie,
Literally.
for the cookie.
Even Jen Psaki, whatever her name is,
Circle back, sack.
she even said pandemic. She slipped up and said pandemic in that press
Yes, she
conference.
did. Yes, she did. Right. All right.
All right, what do you got for me?
We'll do some easy ones, some quick ones. What has FEMA collected near Atlanta?
Bodies.
Is it A, trailers, B, armored vans, C, plastic coffins, or D, zombies?
C.
Right? Everybody knows this one. We
Not
need,
everybody.
we need,
Don't give it
I'm
away.
not giving it away. We do need to talk about the Walmart, the FEMA Walmart conspiracy, though. I think that's might be one of my current favorites again. Like every once in a while, I get.
I know somebody who claims to have information. In particular, I know the Walmart in Jefferson City um, leads to an underground base,
You
and he
guys
claimed
have that underground. Isn't there some? If it's not right there, it's somewhere close where you guys have like a whole underground.
network.
Yes, like
Yeah, there's two areas. There's Springfield, Missouri, and then there's um, Valmeyer, Illinois, which Valmeyer, Illinois is 20 minutes from me. Springfield, Missouri is further, but uh, in retrospect, I mean, it's close, and there's no way that they don't connect.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Right? And yes, guys, everybody's got, yes, it is plastic coffins, right? Which what they try to debunk as, and this is what kills me, right? They try to debunk as grave liners, as if that makes it any better.
Right.
Like you are not helping, right?
Yeah.
Like you are
Right.
not freaking helping.
Right. Um. All right. Here we go. As the theory goes, the CIA built a secret weapon in the 60s and 70s that could cause fatal heart attacks.
Ooh.
A poison dart that would disintegrate upon impact, leaving nothing to be found during the autopsy. While there was never an official name given for this weapon, what was the coined phrase that was used to describe it in newspaper headlines? A, the heart stopper. B, the heart attack gun. C, the cardiac dart gun. Or D, the artery dart.
The heart attack gun.
I'll read that one more time. The CIA built a secret weapon in the 60s and 70s that could cause fatal heart attacks, a poison dart that would disintegrate upon impact, leaving nothing to be found during the autopsy. While there was never an official name given for this weapon, what was the coined phrase that was used to describe it in newspaper headlines? A, the heart stopper. B, the heart attack gun. C, the cardiac dart gun. D, the artery dart. Yeah, A again. So we have C, B, 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 B. It is B, the heart attack gun. Simple.
Yes,
But they
sir.
said it. They said this is actually a military.com. There's tons of websites
Yeah,
that
that's a real
actually
thing.
the real thing. And they said what it does is it leaves a what would appear to be a mosquito bite, and the person probably wouldn't even feel it. It would penetrate the clothing, and the dart is made with some type of a denatured alcohol that would actually denature in your body, so literally leave nothing for the autopsy report, but it would somehow cause cardiac arrest, cause a heart attack.
Definitely trust your government, guys.
Right.
Right?
They even show pictures of the gun. It's literally like a dart gun, you know. Um,
That's crazy.
Brad said, "Why did he read it again?" I read it twice just for the people who weren't listening the first time.
Right? Let me see what's going on over here on YouTube. All right, all right. Ernest Moniz, the U.S. Secretary of Energy, admitted that his department is involved with research into what? Is it A, quantum generators, B, alien technologies, C, parallel universes, or D, exotic matter?
Read that one more time.
Ernest Moniz, the U.S. Secretary of Energy, admitted that his department is involved with research into what? A, quantum generators, B, alien technologies, C, parallel universes, or D, exotic matter.
I don't know.
Right?
D. D.
Seems
I
legit,
think
right?
it could be any of them. the con-
The Secretary of Energy. So we're talking about the Department of Energy, right? Is researching what, guys? Tell me, because this is actually kind of crazy.
what was the first one? Quantum what?
Quantum generators,
That could be possible too.
right?
I'm gonna stick with D.
Let's see what the peeps are saying. Golden Crisp says D.
What does Frightening Me say? Stranger Things. He says C, which is what was C?
Parallel universes,
Right. Which which is really interesting.
which is actually the correct answer.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the U.S. Department of Energy looking at it? Yeah. Well, I mean, not really a surprise. CERN
No.
has openly admitted to doing some shady shit as far as that's concerned too. As far
Well, I mean, I think you guys covered on Space Force News before. In Antarctica, they discovered a parallel universe where time is in reverse or something along those lines, right? Um, these articles are out there. It's
they
no
are.
secret.
If you string them together, you can see the entire picture. Like absolutely.
So the Orville, you know how that show we were talking about
I
last
love
week.
that show.
It got canceled after 2 seasons,
Uh,
but the last 2 episodes of season 2 were, in my opinion, like they were getting way too close. All of a sudden, the series turned from comedy, blah blah, to real serious and like very Star Wars like, and it
mhm.
got super like they were disclosing a lot, and it was all about them screwing up, messing with time travel, and they accidentally pulled somebody 7 years from the past into the present. And then they went back and then they screwed up history and then they had to go back and fix it. And there was like this time war going on and all this
Mhm.
stuff. But what happened was when they pulled her from her time, they were able to bring her back. Eventually, they were able to put her back right in the exact moment they took her and memory wipe her. They memory wipe
Mhm.
her and brought her back, but the memory wipe didn't work and it screwed up everything because she had all this knowledge now. This is exactly what the SSP guys claim, right? They're taken from a point in time. They go spend time on a spacecraft somewhere. They're memory wiped and brought back. And sometimes the memory wipe doesn't work. And that's why we have whistleblowers.
Isn't it crazy that all of these shows that we like, there's always some like, how many other like where there's like some sort of time war going on,
Right.
right? Like
That's
this is a constant theme
right.
in the shows that
Temporal
we
wars.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
temporal wars,
The Tomorrow War, that movie is major disclosure of that.
man. Right?
Um, right. Is it my turn or your turn?
I don't even remember. Go ahead.
All right, this is my last question. This is one I wrote at the very last second, and I don't even have an answer D.
That's all
So,
right.
so
That's
this
all right.
A, B, or C in this one. Many people believe that the Devil's Tower is actually a petrified tree stump, and many more just like it can be found around the world. If true, in theory, this would mean that the surrounding mountains are actually what? A, fossilized dinosaur droppings, B, piles of petrified sawdust, or C, petrified tree roots.
Petrified sawdust
Let's see
is
what people say.
right is my guess. You know who else is Severe loves that particular conspiracy theory. Like he's real big on that.
Right.
Every time I talk to him, he brings it up.
Whenever I first started going through my awakening, there was a mind blowing documentary on YouTube about that. It was like earth shattering for me. And I remember I was all excited. I was telling my dad about it. And then eventually when I went back to find it, gone.
Gone.
I mean, I've looked and looked. I've gone back again and looked. I've even done Google searches and I just can't find that. It was so well put together. And it was the best red pill for anybody to like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it sure is compelling.
Right? I mean, they've got all these like either hexagonal or octagonal structures that look
Yeah, yeah,
like.
that's only found in a plant cell.
Mhm.
Hexagonal. It's a hexagon pattern. Yeah, the answer is C, piles of sawdust. So what they say is that if these are tree stumps, something or someone had to cut them
Cut them
down like that.
down. right?
because that's not there's two level, but they're all over the place. Some of them appear to be broken off, like they fell over. There's even petrified logs that are sliced up,
Right.
literally sliced up, laying on the. You have log slices that were cut up. If if it takes how many millions of years for something to petrify, who had a saw back then? Who was cutting these trees up? So they think there was like a major like logging operation that took place on this planet once. And if you actually look at some pictures of mountains, especially like I just because I have this as a reference point in Phoenix and Sedona area, if you
Hmm.
look at those, tell me, and being in construction, they are identical to a pile of sawdust. It's hilarious. Like you look at it and you see a pile of sawdust if you think that. Obviously, and then they say sand in the deserts is actually tiny pieces of petrified wood in some deserts.
Could be. I mean, have
Uh,
you ever seen Mud Fossil University on YouTube? Where the guy
can't
he
remember.
talks about, but he talks about stuff like that. He talks about that all the time. And giants, like that, there were like giants that would have been capable of cutting down big ass trees like that, and all.
Right. Well, there's all these myths and legends of of civilizations living in treetops, giant trees, like way up in the trees. And there's drawings of it. It's all myth and legend, right? But these tales come from somewhere.
Somewhere, right? Yeah, I think B was sawdust, guys. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Devil's Tower was that's where the aliens picked up the Serpo folk, wasn't it? Or
no, that's a
that's
misconception. That's that there's actually no UFO activity surrounding Devil's Tower. Steven Spielberg,
that's what it
he,
was.
he added that scene in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, um, just because. Like there was apparently, according to the Serpo book, there's no connection with any UFO activity and Devil's Tower. That all came from Hollywood. Now, I'm not saying there's never been a UFO sighting there, but it got all the fame from the movie.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Right.
Um, yes, frightening me. You are killing the media references. All right. You were talking about Nazis earlier, right? So the Nazis created a capital or a capsule, a pill, D9 that contained cocaine, pervitin, and a painkiller called Eucadol to do what? Was it A, make immortal children, B, enhance psychic abilities, C, make super soldiers, or D, to euthanize prisoners?
Well, they were doing all of that. I don't know actually. I mean, I know they were euthanized. I don't know if they were doing that to prisoners, if they were feeding prisoners medication or not. I don't know. Um, we do know the super soldier theory. I don't know. That's my
Hmm.
answer.
You don't
C.
know, right?
I'll say C because other people in the chat are saying C.
Right? It is C. Yeah, to make super soldiers. They did test it on prisoners at concentration camps, uh, because they were dicks. But they were given these pills, and then they made them like take these long treks over this like crazy terrain with these fully loaded packs. Apparently, their stamina and their attention span like were dramatically increased. These people would march 80 miles before they finally collapsed, just off of these freaking cocaine and painkiller pills that they made, which is crazy. I mean, of course, was it Iron Sky where Hitler's all hyped up on meth?
Well, it would have to be the second one because Hitler's not in the first one. I've never seen the second one.
I think that's right, right? Like, or well, I mean, there's all kinds of jokes about Hitler being all freaking whacked out on some sort of amphetamine.
Well,
He was
yeah,
probably taking these damn pills.
there's definitely physical evidence that Hitler was constantly popping pills. He had major stomach issues. I know that, but I don't know the what he was actually taking.
Well, I know that they wanted to give these pills to the entirety of the German force, but they got defeated prior to their implementation of this crazy plan.
Right.
Um, I got another one for you. This is kind of recent news, right? I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to like disclosure news recently. But so in 1964, who accidentally captured high resolution footage of a UFO shooting at a nuclear test missile, actually causing it to drop from the sky, and then also claimed to be part of a cover up? Was it A, retired Air Force Captain Robert Salas, B, retired Air Force Lieutenant Dr. Robert Jacobs, C, Captain Edward Ruppelt, or D, Captain George Gregory?
I'm gonna go with A. I don't know who actually did it though. I've seen a video. I've seen the footage. Have you seen that footage of it?
Well, I think this is what Tucker was talking about the other day.
There's literally footage that's almost impossible to find, but you can find it. It's a nuclear warhead or whatever missile, and then there's a UFO that comes up and flies around it and like shoots these little like laser beams at it, and then it falls out of the sky.
Hmm.
And apparently, it's real footage, but
Well,
obviously, it's
this
been
has been making headlines this week, which is
really.
crazy.
I didn't even see that. But
Yes.
oh, that's because they just had that big press conference with the four
Hmm.
guys that came forward and talked about the nuclear whatever old news that like we already
Yes.
know about, but like they're just rehashing it for some reason.
Yeah. The answer is actually B, retired Lieutenant Dr. Robert Jacobs, but I think Salas was his commanding officer. But what's crazy is, and they say in a press conference on the subject, this is the press conference you were talking about, of extraterrestrial interference and nuclear testing, that was led by retired Air Force Captain Robert Salas
Solace,
from,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, from the Paradigm Research Group. Um, Jacobs came out and was like, I was part of a U.S. Air Force cover up. And he said that early in the 60s, he had led a team. Their job was to make detailed recordings of missile launches. And during one of these launches, and he said like a lot of times the shit would blow up on the launch pad or whatever, but he had this high resolution footage camera, and he caught. He said they were testing to see if they could launch a nuclear warhead into orbit. Uh, Apparently the Chinese have got that down pat now. But he says they were launching chaff, and they wanted to see if this nuclear missile would go above the chaff so that it would distract, it would distract the radar or whatever. Well, as this is happening, he says an object flew into the frame following the missile, which was traveling at about 8,000 miles an hour. It homed in, fired four beams at the warhead. Then it flew out of the frame the same way that it came in. So it flew in, shot the thing, turned around and went back the same way that it came in. Um, and the freaking missile just fell out of the sky.
Mhm. Somebody said it's on Stephen Greer's movie ages ago.
Well, like I have seen probably 6 articles about this week.
Interesting. I mean, if that footage got leaked and they said that was real, that would turn some heads, not the fuzzy tic tac. That footage,
Man,
if that's what they came out with to begin with, that would have probably had a much bigger effect than the
well,
fuzzy tic tac.
I know I was asking you about this before the show, but Lou Elizondo did like a 3 hour long interview with Kurt Jaimungal the other day. And he did a really, really good job. And despite what, like, I know, like, a lot of people, like, they feel like he only gives part of the story, but like, these guys can only say so much. I mean, he recently left service with the government. Like, he's clearly under, an NDA. He can't release classified information, but he was dropping some freaking crumbs, like in the interview. I mean, he said everything from that, hypothetically, and everything's got to be hypothetically, that hypothetically, if an alien race wanted to leave some sort of marker here so that we would know that they had been here, and he leads this thought exercise with Kurt Jaimungal, and he's talking about, well, how would they do it? You wouldn't want to put it on Earth, because after however many thousands of years, like, you would lose the evidence. I mean, whether it be from weathering, like from the rain or tectonic forces. I mean, even after 100,000 years, mountains can turn into, freaking sand. Like, it just, the effects of time obviously change things. So where would you leave it? And he was saying, like, hypothetically, you would leave it like maybe a genetic marker. And it made me think of the question that I had last week where we were talking about those Russian scientists that had said it was that they had found that, what was it, like the number 37 or something? It was something like that in our genetic sequencing, that it had appeared so many times that it was statistically impossible for it to be a coincidence, right? And Lou had said that. He also said, he was asked by Kurt, have there been any biological remains collected from crashed craft? And he was like, I can't, like, he was like, I can't answer that. So Kurt rephrased himself, and he was like, okay, theoretically or hypothetically, have there been any biological remains found? And Lou was like, yeah, theoretically,
Theoretic,
yes.
yeah.
You know,
Well, and like I said, yeah, theoretically, but it's also a probability because what something's got to be flying them,
well, that
right?
he said that. He said
Yeah.
I'm absolutely convinced that there is an intelligent. He said that's why I use the word craft. He was like, when we talk about UAPs or whatever, he said I like to use the word craft because it denotes nuts and bolts. It's a physical object and it's under the control of something, you
Of
know.
intelligence, yeah,
Yeah, of an intelligent something.
life form.
Mhm.
But the DNA thing obviously makes sense and is probably true. Like I said, these guys who are part of the limited hangout group know more than they can say. There's NDAs for sure. In some cases, like he probably would love to answer those questions, but let's face it, a lot of these guys actually get killed for coming forward. Look at the Mark McCandlish. Like he was going to drop some real like secret
Yeah.
space program
Phil
knowledge.
Schneider.
Yeah, Phil Schneider. Like they can't have that. So they need these. So guys like Lou are gonna. They know this happens. They're gonna get up there and they're gonna do what they're told. They have their NDAs. They do gag orders. They just have to comply. You
Right.
know, play their role. This is all show.
Man, ain't it though?
It is like we're not gonna get any real disclosure from the people who have been hiding it from us the whole time.
Man, they
Like they
lie so much.
right. And if they do, like the whole reason they're rolling it out the way they are is to give themselves plausible deniability because they have blood on their hands. There's treason. There's deaths involved. They've killed people. They've silenced people over the years. And if they admit anything that they that comes along with admitting that they've literally been lying through their teeth to us for decades, and everything that we think we know is not what actually is, and the world is a stage, they can't do that. So what they do is say the military has no idea about this stuff.
Mhm.
And then when it comes out, they're going to say, oh, this was done in this black budget program that we were unaware of. So they just, they just shine a light over there. Don't look at me.
Well, that
Look
was
there.
one of
Not
the things that they brought up, was like they were saying, like, they wanted everybody to tweet out hashtag UFO amnesty. Like, we need some sort of amnesty program where these people can come forward without fear of reprisal, especially now that the topic is being taken seriously. It's being discussed in scientific circles. It doesn't have to be relegated to the dark corners of the internet, or to, you know, conspiracy theorists or tinfoil hatters or whatever. Like, now people are taking this seriously. We need these people to be able to come forward and say, okay, this is what happened. This is what I participated in, and to know that they're not going to face reprisals for that. Thank you, Golden Chris, for the phone. Thank you, Karen
Warrior,
Hare, for the cookie.
Warrior Biatch says there are no forests on Earth. Tyler, I don't know if you're yelling at me or just trying to get my attention. That's actually the name of one of the YouTube videos I've watched.
What, that there are
And
no forests on Earth?
yeah, yeah. So they claim that the forests are actually like just shrubbery compared to these giant trees. Like they might as well be a bush.
Right, or like moss or lichen or something. Like, it's
Right, right.
just barely covering, right? For sure.
Mhm.
Um, Nick of Time says, have you watched or heard about the four most recent episodes of American? Everybody keeps telling me that the four most recent episodes of American Horror Story dealing with UFOs and aliens. I've had like 15 people come to me and say, "You gotta watch
Right.
this." Have you seen
I,
it?
no, I won't watch that show. I know what's behind that show, and it even watching that show makes me sick to my stomach, like physically. So I won't do it. But I know I've heard stories, and I've heard, and it's disgusting, and it's inaccurate, and it's just doing more harm than good. So no thanks.
Now I'm gonna have to see
I've
it.
had people. No, I've been. Yeah, people. Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, now I'm gonna
No,
have to
that
see it.
that show is like I think that show is more truth than people are willing to admit.
Well, there
As
were a
far
few
as
seasons that were really good, and then there were some that just sucked, and then I stopped watching.
as far as like the I don't know, not all of it, but I don't know. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I want I see Alara's one that doesn't watch like that is doesn't watch any kind of I don't know, like current media stuff like because of what she thinks the powers behind it. Like me personally, I want to I you know, I got to see. I don't know.
I won't. Yeah, I don't like watching that stuff. Well, I mean, I literally, I don't actually know, but I think that horror films and horror movies, they put out a specific frequency into your home
I
that
don't doubt that.
hypnotizes you, and not only that, it creates like a portal basically, and like it allows that entity, that energy, to come into your home, and like you're inviting demons into your home whenever you turn these movies on.
I don't doubt that. I don't.
uh,
And my house is already
well, from
a
coming
mess.
from somebody who I was being attacked nightly when I was after my mom passed away. I was 26 years old and I was afraid to go to bed. I was just scared of, like, it was that real.
Oh,
uh,
I
and
understand.
and I started noticing that, back then, like dating and stuff, like for some reason, every girl you freaking date wants to watch a scary movie. It's like, so, and I would notice the nights that I would watch a scary movie, I would have an attack because I would put myself into that fear. And I'm already scared of the dark anyway, because I have like a real legitimate concern, like something is fucking with me in my sleep. And then
Yeah, that's the
the nights
worst.
that the nights that I would watch a scary movie, I would guarantee something would happen because I was bringing that frequency into my home. So I was like, no, it's not even worth it. Like, it's not worth it. I just quit watching them.
Thank you, Danicki, for the cookie. Much love to you too. It's the same with any media. Music, you listen to certain music, you get that frequency in your head, you get that
Mhm.
vibe in your it changes your perception. Like these things literally will change your perception.
Right,
You watch too much news, it changes your perception of reality.
right.
I
It
mean,
does.
truly does. This is why, and I know I say it all the time, but this is why I watch old school shit most of the time. Like, I don't know, X Files, like just old stuff, Star Trek,
Yeah,
you know,
like yeah, like
Fringe. Yeah, like I
reruns
will
of
watch.
Roseanne or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know, but yeah, Roseanne was pretty good, right? But that's why I watch
Hey,
that old school shit.
I grew up. My mom's one of my mom's favorite shows was Roseanne. So when I
Those,
see it now, it just makes me think of her. So it's more like it kind of brings back good memories of my mom whenever I watch it. So I watch it like on purpose to put
right?
myself in a good
Hmm.
mood. And I'll tell you what, Roseanne has the best Halloween episodes of any sitcom. I'm telling you, they went all out with their Halloween episodes, and they're funny. They're good.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Halloween episodes of things. I can't help it. I know a lot of people probably. I don't know. Do you guys celebrate Halloween in the chat? I'm curious now.
Well, according to my question last week, Halloween lines up with a day on the satanic calendar. It's a day of
Yes,
ritual. So,
Sam Hain.
right. So I don't know if I would necessarily celebrate it, but I'll go hang out with my niece and nephew while they
Yeah,
trick or treat.
that's what
You
I'm
know,
supposed to do this year is take the kids trick or treating and
right.
do all that stuff. Like I can't help it. I have decorations up
Seeing
here.
the meme where people are putting like a hard drive that looks like a Kit
Yes,
Kat.
I
And it's
posted
like,
that.
yeah, yeah,
I
did you? Yeah.
posted that everywhere. Yes, I'm giving out government info videos, right? Like all the way. All right, let's do a couple more quick conspiracy questions. What up, Capable? Good to see you, bruh. Um, all right, here's a simple one for you. What is the Amero? Is it A, a spy plane, B,
American.
B, a currency for the proposed North American Union. C, a group of South American countries that are colluding. Or D, a Chinese spy satellite.
Did you say Camaro?
Amero.
I heard you. Um, C, the collusion.
That's all you heard was collusion? You were like, that's it.
Right.
That's the one, right? Oh, look, a lot of people are saying no. Not anymore. No, no, no.
No to what? Halloween? Or do they
Yeah,
if they celebrate Halloween?
right. I know.
Matthew said, I love Halloween, but primarily as an observer, right? Like it's a really interesting holiday to me.
I mean, it's pretty pagan. Like I'm not, no doubt. No doubt, but I think what is it with people? Like there's something with a lot of people where they like to be afraid sometimes. You
Right.
know? Like they got that itch, like they want
They
to
liked it.
be scared
Well,
of
because
something.
that's like the adrenaline rush. It's
Right.
the adrenaline rush, like the excitement. We're all programmed to like what like the taboo, right?
Yeah,
It's
this is true.
programmed in. It's programmed into us. Like it's actually wrong. It's horrible if you think about it, but
I mean, you
that's what
just
it is. Like
right, like I mean, just to celebrate everything wrong that day,
right.
almost. Right?
It gets people going, gets their juices flowing.
Right. The question was, Cutie Pie, what is the Amero? And it a spy plane, the currency for the proposed North American Union, a group of South American countries that are colluding, or a Chinese spy satellite?
What is the answer?
The answer is it's the currency for the proposed North American Union. Like that was a whole real thing. Like aside from the whole Nasara Jasara thing,
Interesting.
right? The Amero, like they proposed a North American, like almost a trade union, but with a common currency, and the Amero was what they wanted to push on us.
Right.
Golden
Yeah.
Crisp says pagan isn't a bad thing. They made pagan bad.
Right. Actually, we're getting ready to do an entire Halloween episode about that. So
Are
stay
you?
tuned.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that what you got coming
Yeah.
up this week?
Mm-hmm.
Halloween episode. We're doing Black Eyed Kids on
I can't
Monday for
wait.
Conspiracy Couch.
I can't. So yeah, you remember that whole like epidemic when all those kids were showing up at people's doorsteps and
Yes.
with the black eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I
interesting.
mean, there were, and what's crazy is there were some like notable, like just regular, like journalists and normal people that were coming with stories. Like the one journalist was like in his car, and these two kids came up to him trying to get him to let them in his car with all black eyes,
Right.
right? And he didn't know. He was like, "What the hell?" It got
Does
out of there or
does
whatever.
Joe does Joe Biden fit in that category?
I listen. There
I
are
mean, he's basically a child and he has black eyes.
Yes, there have
So
been several pictures of him and Kamala with all black eyes. Do you remember that picture
right.
that we saw? How many side by sides of Kamala, like before she I was it before she announced that she was going to join his ticket, and then after, and she had, it looked like she had major surgery
Surgery.
done,
Yeah.
but her eyes were all black,
Right.
you know. But yeah, the black eyed kids are creepy. Uh I don't know. I see people saying black goo. Like, do you think it's? I don't know if it's black goo. Is it black goo? We don't know. Is it demonic possession? Is it some sort of extraterrestrial thing? Like, what do you think?
I I think it's more like an ET type of thing. Well, in the children, maybe. But when we're seeing it in the celebrities and stuff like that, I definitely think it's some type of like soulless entity or something else is there that's
Yeah,
in
I
you
tend to
mind.
think like something demonic, even with the kids, because they're trying to get you to either let them in your house, let them in your car, whatever. They'll call on the phone, like but they use what we would think is like the most innocent of things, and they present this
Yeah, you're
corrupted
probably right. Yeah.
version to try and trick people into acquiescing or giving them permission to do whatever it is. I don't
Right.
know. It should be a good episode. Should be a good episode. So you got Halloween on Thursday, right? Your Halloween episode Thursday. Monday we're doing Black Eyed Kids. Tuesday, I'm going to be back with one of my educational videos. We're going to talk about, and I did not find this. Ice Age Farmer found, and hat tip to him, found NATO documentation on cognitive warfare. Like they've laid out a whole new protocol for mental manipulation that they're, you know, in their, future of war fighting uh, efforts, what they're
And
going to
it's
do.
right. And it's probably, honestly, it's probably what they've already been doing for
Without
a
a
long
doubt.
time. And they're just not telling us. That's with everything. Like, that's
Without a
how
doubt.
disclosure is happening right now. Everything that they're just now discovering or inventing or realizing might be possible is fucking possible. And it's been done
Been done.
10, 20 years ago. They're just rolling it
Hmm.
out slowly as like, oh, look at this discovery, whatever. That's how it's, unfortunately, that's how disclosure is going to look, I think. And we're not going to, and there's going to be a large percent of the population that may never know that this stuff was actually happening the whole time, and they are going to believe that it's all new.
Yeah, this is definitely not new. Thank you, Sean Joe, for the cookie. What's crazy about this shit is they're not just talking about, like, when they're talking about cognitive warfare, they're not just talking about like propaganda. They're talking about using tech to physically make changes in your brain.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
So,
So Warrior Biatch says Tyler, it is still no. I know that one's on YouTube. I was talking about a different one on YouTube. That is a good one. There are no forests on Earth. That is a good one, but that's not the one I was thinking of.
what up, Warrior
Um,
Biatch? That's my
black
buddy,
eyed, black eyed kids, black eyed peas,
right? Creepy, creepy
pint
shit, man.
size. That's creepy. I've talked about the City Museum before here in St. Louis and how that whole place is just like reptilian, Illuminati, just off. And it's literally guarded by serpents. Like, there's serpents that go all the way around it. There's a giant praying mantis on the roof. You go in, there's a big eye of Providence. There's literally demonic, like the drinking fountain is like a demon's mouth, and like you're drinking from it's everything about the place is disgusting. And it's like an adult children playground, but directly across the street from it, which for some reason this serpent goes on the other side of the block too, in this area. And there's a pizza joint called the Sliced Pint, right? And it's a beer and pizza place. But if you think about pint, like a pint size, like a child, like
Yes,
something small, it's called the Sliced Pint. And I'm not joking. You guys can go to my personal YouTube channel and watch this video. The sign has people eating pizza with a reptilian on the sign. Literally, no joke.
dude. When I come out there for the conference, like, there may have to be a pit stop to go see this crazy shit.
You'll be fucking blown away. Like, anybody with open eyes that goes to the City Museum here in St. Louis is like jaw dropping. Like, you can't believe how in your face this stuff is.
They
And
put
that
it
I
everywhere.
watch, guys. I seriously, like, I don't care if you subscribe to my channel. I don't care about the views. Like, just for the information, go to my channel's Tyler Koala. Go and watch that City Museum video, because like the revelations are just mind blowing.
I definitely want to come see that. Right? Oh, well, guys, yeah, sorry about the technical archonic difficulties earlier. I don't know what the hell that was about. That was crazy. Um, but yeah, so that's it. Well, we'll be back here next Friday, right, for another awesome episode of Conspiracy Theory Trivia.
Wait,
Um,
wait, wait, wait. Before we say that,
okay.
oh, nope. Halloween's not till Sunday, actually. Okay.
But your episode's Thursday, right? Is this the
Right, right.
one?
I didn't know when Halloween was. I hadn't looked at the calendar. So I wanted to make sure we weren't doing it on Halloween.
Oh, that would have been cool though,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean, yeah, it would have been. But um, anywho,
Anywho, all right, guys. Much love to you. We will
good
see
night,
you
guys.
next week. I love Halloween episodes of things. What we did ghosts last year on Conspiracy Couch, and I had that report. That was when the people came to investigate my house. And I had, did
Oh,
you ever
yeah.
see that? Like, not just the video with my dog, but like, we played the EVPs that they got here and the stuff from the spirit box that they got here was crazy.
Yeah, I think I remember tuning into that. Yeah,
it was crazy.
I'm telling you, if you want to really get into the Halloween spirit, watch some Roseanne episodes.
I'm digging it, man.
You know what my favorite Halloween movie is Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp.
I love Sleepy Hollow. Right?
The one with Johnny Depp. It's not like super.
And Christina Ricci.
Yeah, it's not super scary. Or like, it's just like the whole movie is creepy.
You know why? Tim Burton did it, and Tim Burton is my guy. I can't help it. I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but he also did like Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride, and like I really loved all that shit.
I mean, I'm sure there's some darkness behind all of it, but I do enjoy that Halloween movie.
Right? Take us out of here. Much love, guys.